I'm Dr. Joanne Lasowski, author and journalism educator, and we're here today to discuss issues of importance to the Caucasus. With me today is Paul A. Goble. Goble served in many capacities at the U.S. State Department, including the CIA and the International Broadcasting Bureau. His posts include Special Advisor on Soviet Issues to Secretary of State James Baker. He publishes regularly on his blog, Window on Eurasia. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Well, and we're just going to discuss some things that have been announced by the White House that we're expecting to happen in the next 3 hours, but it seems pretty exciting. Washington is hosting Prime Minister Pashinyan and then President Aliyev before bringing both leaders together, supposedly for a joint peace declaration at the White House. The U.S. is brokering this transit corridor, the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, connecting mainland Azerbaijan to Nakhchivan via Armenia while preserving Armenian sovereignty. That's what we've heard from the White House. The U.S. now is stepping into the fray, while Russia and the Minsk group are formally being set aside, according to what's come out of the White House. Given your decades of experience in the region, what is the significance of this deal, and do you see it as an effective or durable solution?
Well, first of all, we don't exactly know what this deal is. Is it a treaty? Is it a joint declaration announcing the framework within which a treaty will be developed? Is it something else? The language has been not very clear. And there is the only thing that's absolutely clear is that the two sides are going to say what they've said before, that the era of the Minsk group is over. The era of Russian mediation is over. This is clearly a mark of the decline in Russian power in the South Caucasus. And it is a very heavy American involvement, at least potentially. What we don't know is this talks about opening an American rented corridor between Azerbaijan proper and Nakhchivan. It does not address the issue of what has been this really sensitive issue of what will happen with regard to a corridor between Armenia and Russia to the north and Iran to the south. The Iranians have already been very, very explicit that even what's been announced so far is unacceptable to them. The Russians haven't made such an announcement yet. They tend to come in a bit slower. But my guess is that Moscow isn't going to be happy either. And both Moscow and Tehran have leverage. So what we will have to see is how much of an agreement this really is. Is it a treaty, or is it simply a commitment to a framework for developing a treaty, which is a very different thing? And second, how is the United States and its co-signatories or co-declarers, Azerbaijan and Yerevan, going to respond to what sounds like it's going to be a very tough Iranian response? So that so far, we don't know enough to be sure exactly where we are. There's a lot of public relations language being thrown about breakthrough and all that. It may very well be true, but we don't know that yet for sure. And we won't until we see exactly what's signed, exactly what kind of a declaration the two sides have agreed to, and what role the United States is going to play, not only as rentier of this corridor, but in terms of American involvement if this corridor idea is challenged either by Moscow or by Tehran, one or both of which are certain to try to do something to stop it.
So what, in your estimation, does the U.S. gain from an exclusive development rights in the Zangezur corridor?
Well, again, it matters. The devil's in the details. How much we get out of this, exclusive economic transit. The idea would be that would allow the United States to regulate how much China could make use of this, how much Turkey could make use of this, how much the United States could make use of it. It also embeds the United States very deeply into the conflicts and political struggles among the actors on the ground in the region. So I don't want to make to prejudge the case. God only knows we've been waiting 30 plus years for some kind of a settlement, and many of us felt that Zengezur was going to be the key element. I wrote about that more than 30 years ago. What concerns me is exactly what position are we taking? How much are we prepared to back up any declaratory language with American power? And what will we do if the Russians and or the Iranians decide to challenge this? I think we need to know a lot more before we proclaim a great victory. I think there's been a little bit in the news media reporting so far, getting the cart before the horse, that we simply don't know enough yet. Once we have some documents, once we see what in fact it has been agreed to, a treaty would be one thing, and a commitment to a framework arrangement would be something else. A commitment to the idea that we're happy to have American mediation as we go forward towards some agreement, that's yet a third possibility. So we have to know that on the one hand. And second, we need to know a whole lot more about what the Iranians and or the Russians may do if this goes forward. I think we may have a lot to celebrate here. This is maybe a very positive step forward. Or alternatively, it may not be quite as much a step forward as people think, and it may open the door to conflicts which the United States will find itself drawn into if it wants to build on whatever agreement or commitment or declaration the two leaders of these countries are prepared to sign.
Thank you for your insights, Paul. We're going to keep our eye on this, and we're going to come back and talk to you tomorrow to see what actually transpires. Thanks.
Thank you.